First one is shrimp tempura rice ball, Tenmusu. Before making tempura, let's make sauce for it. Put water, soy sauce, mirin, sugar, and dashi powder. The key is to make it a little thicker. Lightly microwave to dissolve sugar and dashi powder. This goes really well with tempura, so you should definitely make it. Next, let's make tempura batter. Today I will teach you how to make crispy tempura easily using unusual ingredients. Flour is something we use all the time for tempura. Today we use mayonnaise instead of egg. This is easier, especially when making small amounts of tempura. Add water. Using mayonnaise instead of eggs allows the emulsified vegetable oil to disperse into the batter, reducing the moisture in the batter and making it crispy and dry. After cutting the shrimp tails at an angle, remove the water inside like this. Straighten the shrimp by making 3 slits in the belly. This time you don't have to straighten it out because it will be inside the rice bowl. I have made it this way in this case for appearance, but you can also remove the tail. Coat the shrimp in a thin layer of flour. This way it's easier to get tempura batter on it. Dip in butter and fry in oil. Add a little butter with chopsticks as you like. Fry for about 2 minutes on each side. Dip in the sauce while the tempura is still hot. If the rice is freshly cooked and hot, let it cool enough to touch by hand. Lay the rice flat in the palm of your hand. Place the shrimp tempura, and then place more rice to make a rice ball. If it's a tempura without a tail, just put it completely in the rice. Finished by wrapping with nori seaweed. This is my favorite tempura musubi. Next one is salmon and cream cheese rice ball. Make tenkasu deep fried dough using the tempura batter used earlier. Drop the butter into the oil using a whisk like this. If you make new butter, mix equal parts flour and water. When the color turns slightly golden brown, it's ready to use. This is also a great udon topping. Next, let's cook salmon. Sprinkle a pinch of salt. Cook over low to medium heat for 4 minutes on each side. You can add more salt later when you combine it with rice. Please check the taste and add it. Next, let's prepare cream cheese. You can use any other kind of cheese you like. My husband likes cream cheese best, so I'm going to use it this time. Skin and bone the salmon and break up the meat. Once the salmon flakes are ready, start making onigiri. Put rice, salmon, and cream cheese in a bowl. Slice the cheese apart so that they do not clump together. Add tenkasu as much as you want. Here comes the most important sauce. This is tempura sauce I made earlier. This makes tenkasu taste several times better, so please give it a try. Mix well and make rice balls. My husband said it was the best salmon rice ball he had ever eaten. He said that the tenkasu made up for the dryness of the salmon and the sauce combined to make the most delicious dish. Today I changed the design a bit and wrapped nori seaweed around it. Tastes great without the seaweed as well. Next one is Japanese authentic tuna rice ball. First, I will add a little flavor to the rice. Sprinkle dried bonito flakes. Add soy sauce, mirin, dashi powder, and sesame oil. Mix well. If you have mentsuyu, add mentsuyu and sesame oil. I recreated mentsuyu with soy sauce, mirin, and dashi powder this time. Next, prepare canned tuna. Drain oil and place in a bowl. Put mayonnaise. It would be great if you could use Japanese mayonnaise. Karashi. MSG, this is haimi. Sugar and soy sauce. Mix well. Using this recipe, you can perfectly reproduce the Japanese-style tuna mayo onigiri sold in Japanese convenience stores at home. Put the rice you just made in the palm of your hand. Place a spoonful of tuna mayo in the center. Make rice balls. There is also a type of onigiri with tuna mayo that does not add any flavor to the rice, but this type is more flavorful, rich, and delicious. These onigiri would taste better with nori seaweed. Next one is pickled plum, umeboshi, and shiso rice bowl. Any kind of umeboshi can be used. This time I bought the crunchy one. Wash shiso and remove water thoroughly with paper towel. Mix this up. If you don't have shiso, you can skip it. Pickled plums are also chopped. If it's a larger, softer type of pickled plum, it's easier to remove the seeds, but this type cannot be removed, so I cut only the outside like this with a knife. Let's combine the rice with shiso leaves and pickled plum. Add white sesame seeds as you like. Mix well. It looks beautiful and smells very refreshing. Make rice balls. A simple onigiri with a pickled plum in the center is good, but if you mix them together like this, you can enjoy the pickled plum no matter where you bite into it, which is even better. Wrap nori seaweed as desired. Very refreshing and healthy rice balls. Next one is Addictive seasoned egg rice ball. The secret lies in the sauce in which the eggs are marinated. First, let's make boiled egg. Put the eggs right out of the fridge into boiling water. After about 2 minutes, move the eggs with chopsticks. This way the yolk will be in the middle. I like my eggs semi-cooked with a yolk that's melting. But since they are to be made into rice balls, I make boiled eggs so that the yolks are not too soft. In that case, boil for 9 minutes after adding the eggs. In the meantime, make the sauce to marinate in. Put water, soy sauce, sugar, sesame oil, garlic powder, dashi powder, and white sesame seeds. I wanna add green onion too. Mix it and add it to the container. Mix thoroughly as the sugar sinks to the bottom. If you like it spicy, add a little chili pepper to taste. After 9 minutes, transfer the eggs to the ice water. If you can't shell it right away, replace the water or add ice to keep it cold. Once shelled, add the eggs to the sauce you just made. Letting it sit for a few hours or overnight allows the flavors to soak in, and it tastes great. Turn the eggs over halfway through to allow the flavor to soak in evenly. You may want to prepare them the day before you make the rice balls. I made it about midday and ate it at night. The eggs seem to have soaked up the flavor nicely. I'll cut it in half. These eggs are great as an accompaniment to drinks as well as onigiri. This sauce can be used in many dishes, but I think it's best when mixed with rice. I think it would be delicious in udon soup too. Place an egg in the center of the rice like this and make it into a rice ball. You can put the egg inside the rice and make it into a rice ball, but for the sake of appearance, I will make the rice ball so that the cross-section of the egg appears on the outside this time. Next one is grilled rice ball, Yaki Onigiri. First, season the rice with soy sauce, Mirin, sesame oil, and dashi powder. Mix well. If you have dried bonito flakes, you can add them. Make rice balls. Here is a little key point that is different from other rice balls. Flatten the surface of the rice ball. Flatten both sides for tastier rice balls later. Bake in a fry pan until charred. If you have a frying pan that tends to burn easily, you may want to spread a little sesame oil on it. If the surface of the rice ball is flat, it will be well charred. Since only the surface needs to be charred, I think it's okay to cook it over a very high heat. The savory soy sauce aroma is the best. Prepare this when you have a barbecue. Next one is Shio Kombu rice ball. This recipe calls for shiso and edamame. If you do not have shiso, use nori seaweed instead. Since the edamame are frozen, warm them up a little in the microwave until they are not too hot. Place in a bowl with rice. Add seasoned kelp stripes, shio kombu, and dried bonito flakes. Season them with soy sauce and sesame oil. Mix well. This salted kelp can be mixed with vegetables to make pickles, and it's also very tasty in spaghetti. I love it with rice like this. If you have a chance, please buy it. I recommend adding edamame to this as it gives it a really nice texture. I'll wrap shiso around it and add some freshness. Of course, it's delicious wrapped in nori seaweed. Next one is Karaage sushi, Chirashi sushi rice ball. Do you know Chirashi sushi? A type of sushi made by combining sushi rice with many different ingredients such as shrimp, veggies, shiitake mushroom, and so on. Today I will make this into a rice ball. First, soak dried shiitake mushrooms in water. You need to soak them in the fridge for about 7 hours, so do it the night before or use fresh shiitake mushrooms if it's too much trouble. Placing the paper towel like this allows the moisture to soak in thoroughly. When the shiitake mushroom stems are soft enough, it's okay. Cut off the stem. Using scissors is easy. This water is used as is. Transfer them into the pot. Add mirin, soy sauce, and sugar. Cover with a lid and simmer until water is absorbed. Drop the lid directly on the shiitake mushrooms like this to allow the flavor to soak in. Bring to a boil, then reduce heat to low. Simmer. Check in to see if there is still broth left in the middle of the process. The soup can be left a little, but if you cook it this long, the flavor will be richer and it will keep for a longer time. It can be refrigerated for about 5 days or frozen for about a month. The simmered shiitake mushrooms are an essential ingredient in Chirashi sushi, so please give it a try. This shiitake mushroom can be used in maki sushi too. Next, let's make pickled lotus root. Before boiling lotus root, make the marinade sauce in advance. Put water, dashi powder. This is kombu dashi powder. If you have kombu broth, it's best. Add rice vinegar, sugar, and salt. Mix well. Peel and thinly slice lotus root. Boil the water in the pot and add salt. Cook lotus root for 2 to 3 minutes. Boil them until the crunchy texture remains. Then drain the water. Stir in a pinch of salt. Lotus root tends to change color easily, so if you add just a little vinegar when you boil it, you get a better color. Soak this in the vinegar you just made. This one is also placed on paper towel and soaked thoroughly. It's better to let this soak in for 2 to 3 hours. Next, prepare sushi rice. Cook rice with a little less water than normal. Add the water needed for 1 cup of rice first. Then dump out about 2 tablespoons of water. Cook rice in rice cooker as usual. Next, I'm gonna prepare shrimp. Boil shrimp in boiling water with salt and sake. I use frozen shrimp. When the shrimp are cooked, remove the water and cut them into pieces. If it were chirashi sushi on a regular plate, it would be fine to cut it this way. But today I'll cut it into smaller pieces for onigiri. Mince shiitake mushroom as well. The lotus root is usually left as is, but I cut it a little smaller for onigiri. Season the shrimp here. Put rice vinegar and mirin. Just soak it for a few minutes and you are good to go. Next, let's make sushi rice. This is a mixture of rice vinegar, sugar, and salt. Warm slightly in microwave to dissolve sugar and salt. Add to rice and mix thoroughly. Transfer to a bowl and let cool slightly. Add all the ingredients. There were a few edamame beans left over, so they were added. Usually, a kind of snap peas called sayayendo are added to chirashi sushi. Edamame can be substituted. Make rice balls. Usually, eggs are mixed with rice as one of the ingredients, but today I would like to try a slightly different style. Add a little sugar. Mix well and make the whites very fine. Make a thin omelette like this. I'm trying very hard to stretch the egg liquid to make it as long as possible. Cut into rectangles. I want it to be like nori seaweed. Place this on the rice bowl as if you were putting clothes on it. This is fluffy flaked fish, sakura denbu. The pink is pretty and I use it as a topping. It takes a bit of work, but it's worth it. I'm sure it will be your favorite sushi. Next one is Japanese fried chicken karaage rice bowl. First, let's season the chicken. Put grated ginger, garlic, soy sauce, and mirin. I usually use sake instead of mirin, but the last time I made fried mushrooms, I used mirin and it was delicious, so I added it to the chicken as well. Allow to soak up the flavors for 20 minutes. Cover with potato starch. If the coating is too thick, it will be difficult to get a crispy finish, so it's best to apply it as thinly as possible. If it becomes too thick, you can remove the powder by hand. Fry for 3 minutes on each side. At first, the fire was too high and burned a little. I think it's fine though. If you think it's burnt, lower the heat and fry it firmly afterwards, and it will be fine. Karaage with mayonnaise are the best. Today I prepared green onions and red pickled ginger as topping. Place the karaage in the center of the rice as you did with the very first shrimp tempura. Make rice balls. Wrap nori seaweed around it. This alone makes for a very satisfying lunch even if there are no other side dishes. The last one is sausage and corn rice bowl. First, minced sausage. I used to cut them into round slices, but these are finer and easier to make rice balls with. I will cook it in a pan. Add the corn here. Add butter, soy sauce, salt and pepper, and sugar. Mix well. When water is gone, combine with rice. Mix well. Butter and soy sauce is the best. These two really go well together. Make rice balls. Finish by wrapping with nori seaweed if desired.